Thank you to our heroes who make this world a better place.
Thank you to doctors, nurses and healthcare workers, and our researchers, and police officers, and firefighters, and those who have grown our food.
Thank you to those who have kept our shelves stocked with supplies.
And thank you to our teachers.
And the social workers who work to keep us safe every day.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Janki Patel, the Children's Network Officer, and on behalf of all of us at Children's Network, I would like to welcome you to the 22nd Annual Shine a Light on Child Abuse Prevention Award Ceremony. While we look forward to meeting in person again, we are deeply appreciative that you have joined us to honor some amazing individuals in this virtual environment. Our recipients will be joining us via Zoom as they accept their awards today. I want to begin the program by thanking our Board of Supervisors for their continued support of the Children's Network and its initiatives and events. It's actually because of a Board of Supervisors resolution that the Children's Network was established. To demonstrate this continued support, Chairman Hagman has some opening remarks prepared for today. I would like to welcome Chairman Hagman to say a few welcoming remarks. Chairman Hagman.
Good morning and welcome to the 22nd Annual Shine a Light on Child Abuse Prevention Award Ceremony. National Child Abuse Prevention Month is an opportunity to share the importance of individuals and communities working together to keep families safe and healthy. Everyone has a role to play in making sure that our community is a great place for children and families to thrive. When the well-being of our children and families become the priority of everyone in the community, child abuse and neglect cases will decrease. The Board of Supervisors are committed to keeping children safe and have a proclaimed April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in San Bernardino County. This year is even more important to celebrate our unsung heroes who go above and beyond their call of duty to keep our children safe. These awards ceremony is an opportunity for us to honor individuals and organizations for their outstanding dedication and tireless efforts on behalf of at-risk children in our communities. I personally want to thank each honoree for their dedication and passion in keeping children safe. Enjoy the ceremony and remember, a community in unity will prevent child abuse.
Thank you, Chairman Hagman. I would also like to thank the CEO and the County Administrative Office for their continued support of Children's Network. We have the Assistant Executive Officer of Human Services and Vice Chair of the Children's Policy Council, Cassania Thomas, also making a few remarks today. And now I'd welcome Cassania Thomas to say a few welcoming remarks.
Good morning and welcome to the 22nd Annual Shine a Light on Child Abuse Prevention Award Ceremony. My name is Cassania Thomas and I am the Assistant Executive Officer of Human Services. In the calendar year 2020, over 50,000 calls were made to the Child Abuse and Neglect Hotline in San Bernardino County. It has been found that the two major risk factors leading to child abuse and neglect are family isolation and stress. Unfortunately, the pandemic has only further exacerbated these risk factors over the past year. However, throughout the year, I have witnessed the county come together in one coordinated effort to ensure that resources and services were provided to our most vulnerable families. Today's event is an opportunity to highlight these individuals and organizations for their tireless efforts to ensure the safety and well-being of the children and families in San Bernardino County. I also want to thank each honoree for the work that they have done this past year. And while we're unable to celebrate in person, I certainly hope this moment allows you to see how appreciated you are. Enjoy the award ceremony and remember, a community in unity will prevent child abuse.
Thank you, Cassania. It is due to the continued support of the Board of Supervisors and the County Administrative Office that Children's Network is allowed these opportunities. And of course, as many of you know, Children's Policy Council is Children's Network's Board of Directors. I'd also like to thank them for their continued support throughout the years. I'd like to thank CL Lopez and the PERC team that has helped us make this virtual event possible. As it's been mentioned, National Child Abuse Prevention Month is an opportunity to raise awareness around the long-term social and health impacts that child abuse and neglect have on children. Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, like child abuse and neglect, have been linked to lower reading ability, higher rates of unemployment, higher rates of mental health issues and suicide attempts, as well as higher rates of involvement with the criminal justice system. However, children are incredibly resilient, and with the help of a supportive community and the protective factors, they can overcome their ACEs with time. The protective factors have been shown to strengthen families, reduce likelihood that abuse and neglect will occur, and mitigate long-term consequences of experiencing childhood abuse and neglect. Children's Network realizes how important the community is in protecting children. Over the last 22 years, we have held this award ceremony to acknowledge individuals and organizations who go above and beyond their call of duty to make sure that the children in San Bernardino County are safe. Today is about acknowledging you and the hard work you do every day. I hope you enjoy our very first annual virtual award ceremony. We hope to have this event in person next year, but until then, please remember, a community in unity will prevent child abuse. We'd like to begin our presentation with the Lifetime Achievement Award. Our Lifetime Achievement Award recipient is Dr. Kiti Freier-Randall from Loma University Healthcare.
A mom came in and often they hand over the baby and they're like, oh, do you know how to handle them? But she handed over like, oh, I need respite. Like, please take my baby. And I remember thinking, wow, she seems really stressed. And she was the biological mother and the baby had been exposed to cocaine. And as I was getting ready to start my evaluation, she asked me, when will my baby see? And I was like, I knew the baby didn't have a vision issue. And so all of a sudden red flags went to me because babies are going through so much and they're very needy even when they aren't going through so much. And that face-to-face, that look back and forth is so important for that attachment and bonding. And I was so worried about the fact that maybe she hadn't bonded to her baby and this baby is difficult to care for, and those send up red flags for just the risk for abuse, because in your first year of life, the risk for abuse because of parent expectations and baby demands is so high. So I realized she needed that connection. So we didn't do the eval, we just did the low threshold environment. We lowered the lights, swaddled the baby, held the baby. I told her, don't move, don't talk, just sit. And sure enough, in that low stimulation, that baby started looking at her. And she had the first eye-to-eye, face-to-face contact. And she looked at me and you could just see that it was a huge world of difference for her. And she said, wow, that's the first time that you've made my baby, I don't remember the name, Johnny, into Johnny and not an it.
Dr. Kiti, this is Beth Burt from the Autism Society Inland Empire. I just wanted to say congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award. I know you're not done yet, but the time that we've spent together here in the United States and in China has been precious to me. Your unending energy and passion for our community to help all children is breathtaking. This couldn't have gone to a better person, so congratulations.
Dr. Kiti Freier-Randall, or Dr. Kiti as we like to call her, has provided services to about 150 families per year since she began supporting Preschool Services Department families in 2009. That's a total of nearly 2,000 families that her and her team have impacted during the course of our partnership. These services include supporting both children and families as they navigate trauma and loss experiences, intensive case management during stressful times, and support to teachers for providing quality care for families exposed to trauma and loss. Throughout the years, she's been a connection to other community programs, including SART, which has been pivotal in helping preschool services understand the referral process and which services are available to our community. Dr. Kiti has provided teacher trainings that have better prepared teaching staff to provide responsive services to children and families who've experienced trauma, grief, and loss, including providing the keynote address for a recent all-staff event that was very well received by our team. In response to the pandemic, her team quickly pivoted to provide telehealth services for families experiencing trauma and loss. As a result, our families needing to cope with ongoing trauma and loss have not had a break in services. Even though I only have a very short period of time to share about Dr. Kiti and her impact on our program, even hours wouldn't be enough time to truly convey how much of an asset she is to not only the Preschool Services Department, but to San Bernardino County as a whole. We are raising the future here at PSD, and what happens in our classrooms and while working with our parents shapes our community. So Dr. Kiti has had a big impact on how the future looks in our county due to her interventions while working with vulnerable children. Our mission at the Preschool Services Department is to improve the well-being of children, empower families, and strengthen communities. As we carry out our mission, we recognize that the needs of our children are great, and sometimes those needs fall beyond the area of expertise of our team. For over a decade, we've relied upon Dr. Kiti and her team to address some of those most significant issues that an adult, let alone a child, will experience in their entire life, from the death of a parent to the imprisonment of a parent, the passing of a teacher, or for a child entering the foster care system. Dr. Kiti and her team have given hope to countless children that have found themselves in what seem to be hopeless situations. Dr. Kiti, this recognition is well-deserved, and from all of the staff and the children that you support at the Preschool Services Department, I want to express my appreciation for all of your tireless work and congratulations on this accomplishment. Thank you.
I am honored to speak about Dr. Kiti today. She has been a part of our organization, Desert Mountain Children's Center, for over 16 years. And what a gift. I am blessed to know her as a colleague and as a friend in our SART program. She has done incredible work with our babies and our littles and helping our team to grow in their knowledge. I first got to know Dr. Kiti as I sat on a panel with her and watched her present. And when I saw her passion and her commitment and just her care about our children and their families, I knew this is someone I wanted to know and become friends with. And I am blessed to say we are not only colleagues, but we are friends. She is incredible. She's intelligent. She is kind. She is a team player, and it's always about kids and families. So I thank you, Dr. Kiti, that I get to be a part of your world and that you've taught me so much in my own career. And I'm so proud of you, as our whole team is. This is well-deserved. And so congratulations.
So Dr. Kiti, I want to take this time to congratulate you on your award. Nobody else deserves this more than you do. And thank you for all the work you do for all the children in need. Congratulations. And I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Kiti for the past 3 years. We've been doing research and working collaboratively on enhancing the lives of children who need behavioral health treatment services, known as applied behavior analysis. Dr. Kiti always takes the time to make you feel that your voice is important, and she gives you the opportunity to be heard. And she's always advocating to improve the lives of all children around the world.
Dr. Kiti Freier-Randall is an internationally known pediatric neurodevelopmental psychologist. Her passion is child advocacy as a means to promote optimal and healthy living. She has dedicated her career to providing direct services and/or training to children, families, professionals, organizations, and communities with a goal to enhance the physical, cognitive, emotional, and spiritual lives of children and their families. She is especially committed to ameliorating the trajectories of children in her local and global communities. Through her work, she has facilitated moving from understanding risk to promoting resiliency via training in over 40 countries and throughout the United States. Dr. Kiti has extensive experience spanning over 26 years with infant, child, and adolescent populations, together with specialized expertise in the area of infant and toddler high-risk populations, developmental disability, trauma, and pre- and post-substance exposure. Dr. Kiti, we are so appreciative of everything that you have done for our children. I'd now like to welcome Dr. Kiti to say a few words.
Hi, everybody. Like me, I wish we were all together, but I just wanted to really thank Children's Network for this honor and also for all of the agencies that are stakeholders for children, and particularly children who've experienced maltreatment or are underserved in our community. I am so honored and privileged to have worked with so many of you in San Bernardino County. And I just don't even really know where to begin or how to say it. Of course, this honor is about the fact that I had the opportunity to use the skills I had to serve children because of the agencies we have in our community. And because of those wonderful people out there, all of you who really make children a priority in our community. I came to San Bernardino County about just over 30 years ago. And when I came, I was told, why are you going there? They don't really, aren't really known to have an advocacy for children. And in fact, my little community in Canada had a special prayer meeting for me because I was going to a very high risk area. And I just am thrilled that I believe I was able to develop my career and just put my passion for children to work because San Bernardino County is a county that puts children first, and that really there are so many of you that have just made it possible for me to do that. So I'd like to just share a little bit of just those privileges that I've had. And one of them, of course, is that when I first came, I was at Loma University. And the first clinic where I got to do my clinical work was the Sac Norton Clinic for the underserved children. And from there, I made more connections. And for the last 15 years, I've been able to be the lead neurodevelopmental psychologist and clinical expert on trauma for our SART programs. I am thrilled that I work with all 6 programs throughout the county and have just really, really appreciated and enjoyed that. In addition, the complexity of trauma and how it portrays itself. So I've been able to share my expertise as a medical director at the Autism Assessment Center and be able to help sort out those complexities of children who experience maltreatment and the issues of neurodevelopmental disability. I could go on all the agencies that I get to collaborate with at Children's Network doing trainings and First Five. I also do work with advocacy policy at the children's programs for Inland Empire Health. And, once again, just between the opportunities at Loma Linda, the opportunities at the Autism Center, the SART programs, preschool department, all of those areas, I'm just really thrilled that I am this recipient because of all of you, because you let me put my passion to work, and my passion is children and making a difference and changing their trajectories. One of the places that we've been able to do a program that I developed for 10 years, we've been able to implement the Trauma, Loss, and Compassion Support Group for Children. It is predominantly children in our underserved communities in San Bernardino County, and that was through Preschool's department, and I really appreciate them as well, just taking the program and allowing us to implement it with the children that they serve as well. I know this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, but I hope you're okay if I don't feel like I'm going to be retiring in the next year or two anyway. And so I just wanted to share with you that because of all of you and the experiences I've been able to have, this year I was selected to be one of the fellows for the leadership program at California Healthcare Foundation. And my focus in that is to really help to develop a more systematic way for us as providers and as parents on how to help those babies in our community that are born who've experienced maltreatment and or prenatal exposure with neonatal abstinence and neurotoxic effects. I know And I have seen that when we provide attuned caregiving that those babies need early on, those negative trajectories, because these babies are born with a score on the ACE of 1 of the adverse childhood experiences. And within days or weeks, often that score goes up to 2 or 3 or 4. And I know, and I have seen that with attuned caregiving, we can change those trajectories and really ameliorate the lives of our littlest ones in our community. So once again, I just want to show my deep gratitude and thank you to Children's Network, to all the agencies that I have the honor and privilege of working with, and all the people that have meant so much to me, both in my clinical world, in my administrative world, and research, and just in the collaboration that I've had with all of you. Thank you again so much for this honor. The major force and motivation in my personal and professional life is to make a positive difference in the lives of others. I particularly have a passion to help others learn, what do children need? I work with children whose stories are often too terrible to comprehend, but I am motivated and energized to continue doing this work because when I've helped another provider or parent offer attuned caregiving, I know it can make a difference in the life of that child. And I do know that all development and resiliency happens in the context of relationship. My passion for children and my desire to help and ameliorate their trajectory stems from how I was parented. The support from my amazing immigrant parents championed me to strive for and reach my goals in life. My mother was the most kind and generous person you have ever met. But in addition to that, she was a true example of attuned parent. My father was a pillar of strength, hope, and unwavering faith. His work ethic was like no other. Their Christian example taught me that we were born for relationships, to love our neighbors as ourselves. I was empowered to experience that developing and nurturing positive relationships is truly what life is about. My husband, my family, and my many friends and colleagues in San Bernardino have likewise demonstrated that to me in my life. So in large part, the gratification that I may have made a positive difference in the life of a child is my greatest motivator.
Thank you, Dr. Kiti, and congratulations. Before we move on to recognizing our honorees, I wanted to take a moment to recognize a special Children's Network employee. Linda Ravaner retired from the county after 26 years of dedicated service in January of 2021. Linda is a valuable member of the Children's Network. Through the 6 years that she's been with us, she has provided each one of our staff with countless guidance. Her positive can-do attitude has encouraged each and every one of our coordinators, and she has certainly helped me as I have transitioned into the role of Children's Network Officer. Linda, you are missed on a daily basis, and we just wanted to take a moment on this public platform to thank you and recognize all the work that you've done. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Okay, so a lot of years ago, I remember, I think my mom told me, and I heard it from other folks, and they always said, if you select a job that you love and that you are passionate about, you'll never feel like you have worked one day of your life. And that's what I feel right now. I went into social work 30 years ago or so, because I always felt a passion to work with families and children. And 30 years ago when I started in LA County as a boots on the ground, door knocking social worker, I really knew that I had found my passion at that point. And I've had the opportunity throughout the last 30 years and the last 23 years with San Bernardino County to have worked with some absolute wonderful people who all have the same mission and passion that I have. My last 6 years working at Children's Network has really given me an opportunity to sort of go full circle as far as working with and providing resources and educating parents and caregivers about how to have the best possible life for their children. And I'm really honored to have been a small part of that. One of the reasons I selected this profession is because, like I've said previously, I profoundly and passionately believe in enhancing or working with families and children. So at the beginning of my career in social services, which I've always seen as definitely not just a job, but it truly is a mission and it truly is a passion. And every single day and every single job that I've had working in social services, I felt like I have been seeking to make a difference. And again, like I said, just having the opportunity to work hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder with folks that had the same passion has really fulfilled my life as well. From working, like I said, initially working with investigating cases of child abuse, to being able to provide trainings to social workers who work with families. And the last job, of course, at Children's Network. And I mentioned earlier that I really feel like it's come full circle, and that working with all the folks there at Children's Network has made me really feel complete, to be able to work with folks who care as passionately about improving the lives of children by educating and providing resources and advocating for our children and our families. Makes me glad that 30 years ago, I raised my hand and I said, hey, this is what I need to do. So again, I just feel very honored, and I'm very humbled to be recognized for doing something that is just a part of who I am, nothing special. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And once again, I wish you the best in retirement. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Our first honoree recipient is PBK Architects in the category of business. With a mission of supporting and strengthening those around them through volunteering, donations, and partnerships, the team at PBK does more than just meet their mission. When a member of the team arrives at an event, hears about a drive, or has the opportunity to directly connect to youth, they take initiative and join in with heart. PBK is the first to respond to the call to action, set up and carry the boxes, and cheer on any child in need of a champion. What began as a response to a holiday drive has grown into a partnership that has transformed into countless boxes of toys, school supplies, and a response to every call to action that has arrived at their door in support of vulnerable children in San Bernardino County. Aside from the collections and direct support to children's funds programs, PBK also ensures that they give their time when the call for volunteer support arises. They support children's creative outlets at our Children Are Our Future event, or they sit down with the youth at a scholar meet and greet lunch. They look in the eyes of every single child as someone with promise and value. Every child that meets a member of PBK is left more positive than before. Children's Fund is stronger because of their support, and our community is a brighter place because of their belief and dedication to a brighter future. Thank you, PBK. Can you share with us what motivates you to help our children?
So So at PBK, we pride ourselves with being involved in the community and, working with districts. And so all of our work is really working ultimately with kids. And so we wanted to find an organization that we can partner up with in order to further and advance our passion for and our commitment towards the community. And so Children's Fund has played a vital role in that kind of connection. And our involvement has been to kind of give back to the community. We did the toy drives for Christmas, and we've done the backpack drive for back to school, where we've packaged each bag with all the supplies that each child needed, and then we kind of distributed those to Children's Fund organization. And then in addition, we any kind of opportunity we had to be involved with Children's Fund, where they have events, soccer events, whatever kind of events that they have going on, to kind of shine a light on the children. And we at PBK always sought those opportunities and made sure to be a part of them. And it's because we understand the importance of community and understand the kind of impact that each person can have. So I think I was involved in kind of the coordination and everything, and PBK as a whole was really also involved in just that kind of participation and that connection. So I think a special thanks goes out to the entire team at PBK. And then at Children's Fund, I worked with we were working with Nicholas Fisher and Sid, which was really a pleasure to work with both. And it's been incredible working with both of them.
So what motivates PBK is to do and participate in these types of events is we're very fortunate to have a great group of staff who are very much a strong, empathetic group of folks who are very much leaders and are willing to step up and to help in the community in any way we can. We're an architecture firm who focuses on education, educational facilities. So the education of children and the health and the safety of children is very important to us. And participating in these type of events is something that brings us fulfillment and gratitude to be able to participate in these opportunities. So just wanted to thank Shine a Light for this recognition, and look forward to potential future participation and keep helping in any way we can.
Thank you, PBK Architects. Our next recipient is Karen Torres-Gonzalez in the category of Department of Behavioral Health. Karen is currently a clinic supervisor for the Department of Behavioral Health under Children and Youth Collaborative Services. Her and her team work in collaboration with Children and Family Services to identify the behavioral health needs of youth 0 to 17 who are in out-of-home care. Karen started her career with DBH as a pre-licensed clinical therapist 1 with the Phoenix Outpatient Clinic in 2007. Karen works tirelessly to ensure that our most vulnerable children coming into care are connected to the appropriate levels of behavioral health services. She is passionate about working with youth, or as she sometimes refers to them as our kiddos. She enjoys working one-on-one with the youth when she is not busy doing administrative duties, and this interaction is what motivates her. She always sees the best in others, encouraging them along the way, even when they don't see it themselves. She is a true advocate for both the youth and the families that she serves. Thank you, Karen. Will you please share with us what motivates you to help our children?
Thank you very much for this award. I feel very honored and privileged to be able to serve San Bernardino County. What motivates me is really just a strong desire to help alleviate suffering. I feel like that is my purpose and my mission in life. And I'm truly grateful to be able to work with children in this capacity. I believe that children are the hope for our future. And I'm just honored to be able to work with them and work for them. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Our next recipient is Freeman in the category of Children and Family Services. Lay is an intake social worker for CFS, who ensures the safety of children on a daily basis in his role at CFS. In addition to this, Lay has built partnerships in the community to obtain items such as blankets for our foster youth. Lay has also established a partnership with law enforcement in the mountain communities to ensure children and families in this community are safe and have resources when they need it. Outside of his role at CFS, Lay not only participates in the annual Big Bear Lake Polar Plunge to raise awareness for the Special Olympics, he also raises funds for this charity and often takes on personal challenges during the campaign. This encourages families, friends, and coworkers to donate to the charity. In the very difficult job of a child welfare social worker, Lay is not only dedicated to the field of child welfare, but he also adds character and humor to a job that is often challenging and thankless. Thank you, Lay. Can you please share with us what motivates you to help our children?
I don't want to give the generic answer. I want to help people, but I want to make an impact on the lives of not only just children, but of individuals and families and the communities that I serve.
Thank you, Lay. Our next recipient is Child Care Resource Center in the category of community-based provider for an organization. The Child Care Resource Center, or CCRC, has been serving children, families, and child care providers since 1976. CCRC manages programs to assist with issues such as finding and selecting child care and child care financial assistance to families. Children and families benefit from these programs, allowing parents to go to work and attend school, contribute to the economy, and strengthen their families and the community. Their vision is to have healthy and strong children and families living in thriving communities. CCRC cultivates child, family, and community well-being and has taken this on to be their mission. CCRC works on many different projects and events, and CCRC is always efficient, has great customer service, and is a positive partner who is always willing to collaborate. CCRC has been very engaged in several committees and is always advocating for youth and their families. CCRC is a true example of collaboration at its best, always willing to promote the services available to the community. Thank you, CCRC. Can you tell us a little bit about what motivates you to help our children?
Thank you, Junkie. Child Care Resource Center is excited to receive this award. We're inspired by the work that our other colleagues and partners do. And really, like most folks, it's our mission that is very similar to others that inspires us. We have a goal to cultivate child, family, and community well-being. And we have an amazing leadership team here at Child Care Resource Center, and we have an amazing staff. And this really allows us to do the work we do. We are very thankful for all the partners throughout the county that allow us to collaborate with them as well to further the work we do. And I want to turn it over to one of our resource referral managers, Tina Lopez, to share a little bit about what she does and why this is important to her.
Thank you, James. We are really grateful and excited for this award. Part of what we do with the Child Care Resource Center is, we work with children and families to help create a environment where we can come together as a whole and meet the entire family's needs. So we are really grateful for being out in the community and being on the ground to hear, what are the needs and providing these services that are that really support our families, our children, and our child care providers out there.
Thanks again to Jonky and Children's Network. We really appreciate this recognition.
Thank you.
Thank you, CCRC. Our next recipient is Edwin Johnson in the category of community-based provider for an individual. Edwin Johnson is the CEO of Chords Enrichment Program and is one of the top partners at Colton Joint Unified School District. Currently, he is a motivational speaker for 18 elementary schools throughout Colton Joint Unified School District. His gift of empowering and inspiring our youth at the elementary level has been so impactful that his services are now being requested at the middle school level. What makes Edwin's work so unique is his ability to use the art of music to empower our youth. He inspires students to discover their self-worth, strive for academic excellence, and to be successful and respectful community leaders. Edwin's ability to connect with students is unique and is deserving of honorable recognition for his contributions to empowering communities across the Inland Empire. What stands out most about Edwin is his courage to be vulnerable in sharing his personal story of perseverance through adversity. His passion and belief that there is always hope when you choose the path towards a life inspires all those he speaks to. Thank you, Edwin. Can you please share what motivates you to help our children?
For me, the most rewarding part about what I do is being able to work with the kids, being able to empower them and help them get to the next level in life. For myself, I focus on youth development, and like in youth development, like a lot of these kids, they're facing like problems at home, problem with their peers, problem with family, all these different problems. So when they come to me, it feels good because I'm able to talk to them about, life situations and stuff like that. And a lot of the kids that I talk to, they come back to me later and they tell me like, man, Edwin, like, like the words that you told me resonated with me, and, kind of changed my life. And so for me, that's the most rewarding part about what I do. It's just, being able to always, give these kids like a positive outlet, especially like during these times. And it's just important for myself that I give back because I was once one of those kids. And so I know what it took, to be able to come out of it. And like, I know what it was like not having somebody. So for me, it's like, this is something that I'm passionate about. And this is something that, God put in my heart to do. So I've been doing it ever since then. And that's why it's rewarding to me.
Thank you, Edwin. Our next recipient is Stephen Massicott in the category of education. Stephen is a teacher with the San Bernardino City Unified School District. He is currently teaching 4th grade at H. Frank Dominguez Elementary School in San Bernardino. Stephen loves being a teacher and understands the impact a teacher can have on a student's life. He builds bonds with his students that have lasted even after the child is no longer in his classroom. Stephen supports these students by attending sporting events, award ceremonies, plays, and many other events his students, past and present, invite him to. This is important because he is showing his students that he values them as individuals and they are important. He is a figure in their life that is dependable, supporting them inside and outside the classroom. Once a month, Stephen takes time out of his personal life to go to the library for books for his students. His students look forward to receiving these books, as this may be the only time they're able to get a new book. Stephen is aware that many of his students live in poverty and go without many items. He is constantly seeking out donations for clothes, backpacks, jackets, sweaters. He provides these items to his students and their parents and does it in a way that is not offensive. Everything he does for his students, he does not expecting anything in return. Stephen is an amazing teacher, friend, and role model. He truly loves being in the classroom, and most importantly, he loves the lifetime bond he is able to build with his students. Thank you, Stephen. Can you share with us what motivates you to help our children?
Well, thank you first for this opportunity, this award. I really do appreciate it. What motivates me, well, the kids, I love teaching. I absolutely love it. It's nice to see it when they get it, when we're teaching in class and the light bulb comes on. They're like, oh, this is what he's talking about. And the kids, sometimes it might be the first time I say it, it might be the 10th, but it's really nice when you see that they get it. And I try to make it fun, because I know when I was a kid, I learned best from those teachers that made it fun. I mean, it can't always be fun, but I try. And I think that really motivates me to try and do better. after each lesson, I try to reflect on what went well, what didn't, were the kids with it, did they enjoy it? And, obviously, did they learn it? And I try to go from there. And it's just, I don't know that, I had a couple teachers inspire me when I was little, and I try to think about the things that they did that made me feel like I wanted to learn. Another huge influence was my grandfather, and the way he talked to me. And I always try to think about, when I'm talking to the kids, remember how he talked to me. And it really inspires me to try to do the best I can.
Thank you, Stephen. Our next recipients are Shauna and Edward Whittingslow in the category of foster parents. It takes special people to be foster parents. People like Victorville residents Eddie and Shauna Whittingslow. Eddie and Shauna have positively impacted the lives of nearly 40 children. They love their county worker for their foster son, who they describe as amazing, and all their Greater Hope workers, from their current clinical social worker to the one they had a decade ago. When asked about their family, their current Greater Hope clinical social worker, Cece Crawford, said, "Shauna and Edward are loving and gracious family. Every time you step into their home, you feel warmth and love. They have patience and loving hearts that don't falter during tribulations." Shauna says that as foster parents of dozens of children, from newborn to 17 years old, the couple has learned that unconditional love and a mountain of patience are the main components to being foster parents. Shauna and Edward will always be mom and dad. They are committed to supporting all the children they have welcomed into their home. The love Edward and Shauna have extends past their children and into the community around them. Thank you, Edward and Shauna. Will you please share what motivates you to help our children?
Every child deserves a good home, and we have a good home to provide for them. I raised up with a stepfather, and I have always thanked him very much for doing such a wonderful job. And I've always, praised him and said, I've got a big set of shoes to fill. And he always said, "Why? It's just me, I'm dad." And I've always taken that and ran with it.
I mean, I grew up in a single parent, home. Always wanted a full house of kids, and it was just me and my mom. And biologically, I was blessed with 2 daughters and added a daughter when I married my husband, but it wasn't enough. So we just, I concur with what my husband said, and every child deserves a good home. And, 85% of the time when the kids come, they end up staying. So it's just a connection that we make, and we still keep in touch with the kids that have already come and gone. Watching them grow, start their families.
Thank you, Edward and Shauna. Our next recipient is Brianna Porras in the category of legal. Brianna Porras is a social service practitioner for the San Bernardino County Public Defender's Office. Brianna is currently assigned to the Desert Division, aiding juvenile clients as part of holistic representation within the office. Brianna takes on many different roles seamlessly and approaches issues with multiple angles. Brianna treats clients with respect, dignity, and compassion. Brianna is reliable and always provides exceptional service and support to her youth. She will go over and beyond to ensure that her clients are successful and are provided all of the resources possible. Brianna has the ability to navigate and coordinate services, communicating with attorneys, management, and outside agencies on the benefits of her juvenile clients. Her zealous advocacy does not stop within the courtroom. Brianna is a proactive learner and seeks out learning opportunities whenever possible, despite her large caseload in Victorville. She has attended various juvenile trainings to gain a better understanding of the needs and challenges that youth uniquely face within the juvenile justice system. In fact, Brianna has sought opportunities to tour detention facilities to walk a day in their lives. Brianna's passion and selfless dedication for these kids is exhibited for better familiarizing herself with the youth's experience while detained. To say she goes the extra mile is an understatement. Thank you, Brianna. Can you please share with us what motivates you to help our children?
Thank you. What really motivates me is just seeing the positive impact that you can have on a child's life. You can really change the trajectory of their life. And it's a privilege to be able to work with children and be able to do that for them and just provide an outlet that they may not necessarily have.
Thank you, Brianna. Our next recipient is the Honorable Christopher B. Marshall in the category of legal. Judge Christopher B. Marshall has been a Superior Court judge since January of 2009. Prior to his appointment to the bench, he practiced civil litigation in private law firms and at the office of the county counsel. Judge Marshall has presided over criminal, civil, and juvenile cases during his judicial career. He currently works in the Juvenile Dependency Court and has for over 8 years. He was the juvenile presiding judge for almost 3 years between 2013 and 2015. Judge Marshall is also the chair of the California Judges Association's Juvenile Legislative Committee. Judge Marshall has dedicated himself to the welfare of children, not only in his courtroom, but in his attendance at numerous community events where he speaks and spreads the word about the needs of system-involved youth. He goes out of his way to make certain that children are safe, well cared for, and heard. He ensures that all of the kids on his caseload have their educational needs met and chairs the school attendance task force. Its mission is to prevent at-risk students ages 6 to 18 throughout San Bernardino County from becoming involved in the criminal justice system by keeping them on track and engaged in school. Judge Marshall believes that he has found his calling in working to ensure the safety of children and working with families of San Bernardino County. He comes to work early and stays late to make sure that he is prepared. There is no bench officer who cares more about the impact his work has on the community. He is kind, patient, and thorough in all the work he does. He has adjudicated the cases of thousands of families and has performed more than 1,100 adoptions. His temperament, work ethic, and the level of commitment makes him a valuable member of the juvenile court team. Thank you, Judge Marshall. Will you please share with us what motivates you to help our children?
What motivates me to work with children in San Bernardino County is that children are our future. And I believe that protecting them, and deeply believe this, that protecting them and reuniting them with their families, when it is at all possible, is some of the most fulfilling work that I can do. So I really am honored, and I'm truly honored to accept this award. But I certainly also want to accept it on behalf of all of our bench officers who are working tirelessly to try to benefit the children, do what's in the best interest of the children, and do it on a day in and day out basis with resources that are compromised as opposed to other counties, but yet we get our work done, as this county is known as the Can-Do County.
Thank you, Judge Marshall. Our next recipient is Maureen O'Connell in the category of legal. Maureen O'Connell is the lead deputy district attorney with the Sexually Violent Predator Mentally Disordered Offender Unit. She oversees 5 other deputy district attorneys within the unit. When conducting hearings, Maureen is sometimes required to call victims and witnesses of crimes that include child molestation, rape, sexual assault, and other violent crimes. Due to the current court rulings, Maureen is now tasked with having to contact and call as witness victims from cases that occurred decades earlier. This requires her to establish a special relationship and trust with these victims. Recently, Maureen was assigned the task to handle the opposition of a transfer of a sexually violent predator into San Bernardino County. Maureen worked tirelessly with the local sheriff's department in Yucca Valley, local community leaders, school administrators, and the public. She spoke with numerous individuals about their concerns of the placement. Maureen also is the co-chair of the California Deputy District Attorneys Association Committee on Sexually Violent Predators and Mentally Disordered Offenders. She is one of the lead experts in the field and provides training and assistance to other deputy district attorneys within the state on various issues of victims of crimes, including child witness in the context of her assignment. Thank you, Maureen. Our next recipient is Allison Brown in the category of probation. Allison Brown has dedicated 18 of her 20 years within San Bernardino County Probation Department to serving the juvenile population. In her current position, Allison has the responsibility to find and certify short-term residential therapeutic programs, STRTP, for youth. The common denominator when Allison is discussing placements, youth, or issues is always an extreme thoughtfulness for the youth. She focuses on the positive ways to respond to her youth to address their needs, strengths, and the expectations of the San Bernardino County Probation Department. She ensures that the youth are afforded all of the opportunities that are available to them. In probation, it is often correlated that a youth is a sum of their offenses, but she has taught others to look at each individual with regards to their needs, their trauma, and their abilities. Allison truly deserves recognition for the work she has done and continues to do for the most vulnerable populations among us. Thank you, Allison. Our next recipient is Sarah Hainsworth in the category of public health. Sarah has been a public health nurse with the County of San Bernardino Department of Public Health for 5 years. In those 5 years, Sarah has served countless number of children within the San Bernardino County foster care system. Sarah's role calls for her to use her nursing expertise to assess and support children in foster care to achieve optimal health outcomes. Sarah visits children in their current foster placement and in the community to provide nursing support to this high-risk population. Sarah understands that the children she interacts with oftentimes have experienced abuse or neglect and takes a caring and compassionate approach in each of her interactions. This allows Sarah to gain the trust of the children she cares for. Sarah has the challenging job of providing support to children and families in some of the most difficult moments of their lives. Sarah not only rises to the occasion, but goes above and beyond to ensure that no child's health needs are overlooked. Sarah is responsible for many children's health improvements, and although the work is not always recognized, Sarah continues to work tirelessly to help as many children as possible. Sarah ensures some of the most vulnerable community members in San Bernardino, children in foster care, are cared for. Thank you, Sarah. Our next recipient is Zenaida Brown in the category of volunteer. Zenaida Brown is a children and family specialist with 211 San Bernardino County, Inland Empire United Way. She is always available to help our county and community partners for any resources that are needed. Zenaida has a heart for the children and families of our county, and it projects through her positive personality and radiating smile. Zenaida always volunteers at county events and is there with a smile on her face. Zenaida has been observed for making sure that there are appropriate resources available for the children in San Bernardino County. She is always at various collaborative meetings to collect various resources or services for her youth. She often advocates to make sure that all events that take place are readily available to families and will give input on how best to contact these families. Thank you, Zenaida. Can you please share with us what motivates you to help our children?
I want to say I learned from very early on the importance of giving back to the community. And so that was always part of my life, actually. I learned this from my mom, who was just an amazing, volunteer and advocate. And so I got involved working with kids from very early on in my country. And as I came to the US, I just continued doing that. I think we are judged by the difference we make in the everyday lives of children, as was explained by Nelson Mandela at one point. And so I think it's just an honor and a privilege, actually, to serve alongside Children's Network. You definitely provide that opportunity for us to give back and to make a difference in the lives of the children in San Bernardino County. So thank you.
Thank you, Zenaida. Our next recipient is Eric Palma in the category of Youth Volunteer. Eric is currently a high school big from Rialto High School who mentors his little brother Richard at Big Brothers Big Sisters of the IE High School Bigs program. Eric has committed his time to the program for 2 years. He has gone above and beyond as a mentor to his little brother Richard by being a constant presence in his life and by helping him navigate through his life and emotions. Little brother Richard has a hard time trusting others and opening up about his emotions. But due to Eric's compassion, Richard now has a voice and carries himself with more confidence. When asked to describe his relationship with his little brother, Eric replied, "I would do anything for Richard." Eric has proven to be a champion for Big Brothers Big Sisters at his Rialto High School campus by talking about the program with his teachers and peers and recruiting his classmates to be bigs. He talks about his bond with Richard and through his motivating words has inspired his peers to make a difference in the lives of the children in their community. Thank you, Eric. Our next recipient is the Junior Fontana Leadership Intervention Program in the category of organization. The Junior Fontana Leadership Intervention Program, Junior FLIP, is founded upon a partnership between the Fontana Unified School District and the Fontana School Police Department. The 16-week program offers at-risk elementary school students currently enrolled in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade an opportunity to experience a unique educational environment which will positively impact the rest of their lives. Students enrolled in Junior FLIP are required to attend 16 4-hour classes held at designated school sites on Saturdays. These training classes focus on topics which include power of education, drug and alcohol resistance, anti-bullying, leadership skill development, teamwork, health and hygiene, self-improvement, cyber safety, and other related fields. Officers visit students in their classrooms and talk with their teachers weekly. Principals and teachers have open communication with the officers. Junior FLIP officers perform weekly home visits as well. During these home visits, students are asked if they are finishing their homework, if their beds are made, and if their chores are done. During the program and afterwards, Junior FLIP students' grades, behavior, and attendance have improved. Junior FLIP students have received Honor Roll, Student of the Month, and attendance awards. Parents and principals keep in contact with the officers to ensure the continued success of the students after graduation. Thank you, Junior FLIP. Will you please share with us what motivates you to help our children?
We wanted to thank you for this award. This means a lot to our program as we continue to try to get the word out to the community about what we do. A lot of people don't understand what our program is. A lot of people seem to think that it's a program for bad kids, but it's actually not. We are helping build leadership skills in the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders and start them out at a young age to be independent and to be responsible for their mistakes. The most rewarding part of it for me is to spend the 16 weeks with our kids and to mold them into leaders and actually see them apply it and to see them turn their life around to start to get good grades and behaviors are changing and they're realizing that they do need to change their life and how they can better themselves. So to be able to see them mold in such a short amount of time into that kind of student, that kind of child is very rewarding for me.
And a lot is the same with me too, for seeing these kids, how much they grow in the 16 weeks that we work with them. For example, one of our kids had 3 Fs, and then by the time they graduated the program, she had straight A's. So seeing the difference that we make in these kids' lives is the most rewarding experience that I've ever had in being a police officer. It's the most rewarding program that I've ever worked with that. So thank you guys so much for this award and this opportunity to get out the Junior FLIP program, because it's an awesome program that we work with all the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Junior FLIP. Our next award recipient is Ralph Jung. We created a special category called the Spotlight on Human Kindness. In November of 2019, 2 little girls lost their father, whom they had only been placed with for a few months. They were 4 and 7 years old. The father lived at the apartment complex owned by Ralph Jung. An adult niece was willing and able to care for these girls and had already been helping the father. However, she lived in a studio apartment. The only way she could be approved to take care of the children was to move into her uncle's apartment and be able to show proof of possession of the property. This was a complicated case because of the laws that govern placement across state lines, coupled with the requirements of a resource family approval. However, Ralph sacrificed money and went above and beyond to provide exceptions that allowed the niece, the caregiver, to move into the apartment. Ralph provided extraordinary relief by helping minimize any further trauma to these precious children. If it were not for his compassion and selfless actions, we would not have been able to stabilize these children in a loving home with family that is providing them with the permanency and well-being. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, everyone. It is now my pleasure to welcome the Children's Fund CEO and President, Dr. Sid Pinedo, to present the scholarships to our foster youth.
Hi, my name is Dr. Sid Pinedo. I'm President and CEO of Children's Fund. We're honored to be able to be here this morning to share with you and honor our scholarship recipients for this past year. Although the breakfast had to be canceled, it was important to us to be able to recognize these foster youth that have worked so hard to achieve a goal and that are on their journey to improve their life and increase their options. And so this morning, we want to share with you their stories and share with you a little bit about our scholarship recipients. They're committed, they're dedicated, and they're resilient to recognize that no matter what has happened to them, they want to move forward. We believe at Children's Fund that we need to invest in our foster youth. And for those that want to seek a higher education, continue their education, or enroll in vocational training, we want to make sure that they have all of the resources and the tools they need to be successful. And providing them with scholarships is a major point in doing that. We were really moved in reading their stories and on their scholarship applications. And so we believe that in sharing them, we honor their journey and we invite you to become a part of their story.
Eric, age 17, attended Bloomington High School last year. He explains why he wanted to attend college in this quote. Losing my mother to the prison system was something that was not easy to take. Having to see my mother through thick, clear glass was something that, to this day, still serves as motivation to do well in school. Hearing the pain in her voice as she apologized to me is something that is still in my heart. Hearing her explain that I had to do better for myself and not make the same mistakes she made was truly eye-opening and taught me that I could not let my surroundings decide my fate. I was going to be the one to decide my fate, and nothing was going to change that.
Shh. Turn the lights off. Stay here and be quiet. They can't know we are home. Our words, Morgan heard often as a child. Morgan, who received a Shine a Light scholarship in 2020, attended Citrus Valley High School in Redlands last year. She continues, being the daughter of a drug-addicted mother, I never knew what was going to happen. Life was unexpected and dangerous. I always wondered why my mommy was passed out on the floor. Where is mommy? Mommy, are you there? These words I said for years until finally I left to live with my dad. By the time I was in the 3rd grade, I knew how to drive, so I could drive my drug-addicted father to the liquor store or home from partying. After years of this, when I was 14, I finally called Child Protective Services after he hit me. I've lived through a lot, and I now use it to motivate me to be the best person I can be. Making my dream to go to college come true has been incredibly hard, but not as hard as trying to find a way to pay for college.
Hi, my name is Imani White. I'm going to Cal State San Bernardino. I'm majoring in health science with a concentration in public health. With my degree, I plan to work in a career field with special needs. Receiving the scholarship meant a lot to me because it was a financial and academic benefit. It was also a it also benefited me mentally because I didn't have the burden that I usually have when purchasing for things for my academics. That makes me feel like my purpose for being in school is, paying off. Like there's a purpose and I'm being supported. Thank you for contributing and helping. It was definitely needed, and it definitely meant a lot to me. It helped me, like I said, financially, mentally, and academically. And yes, it was greatly needed, and thank you.
Sarah, a prior foster youth currently attending Pasadena City College, tells us a bit about her life after being placed in a foster care unit at age 4. The person that had the biggest influence in my life was my adopted mother, Julia. Sarah says she is the reason why I love literature and writing. My first memory of reading begins when I was 4. I had a speech impediment, so Julia would have me read aloud to her every afternoon in order to practice my speech. I instantly fell in love with books. The placement, however, was cut short. My adopted mother died when I was 12, and I was quickly moved to a new foster family. I went on to stay in multiple foster homes after her death, and a lot of it was pure disorder. I started coping by immersing myself in literature. My mother, Julia, lives on in the books she bought for me. Literature never dies.
Sometimes we wonder, what does it mean to receive a scholarship? For any of us that have ever received a scholarship in our lives, we know that it makes us feel special. We know that suddenly someone or some organization has committed to invest in me, committed to invest in you. Our scholarship recipients tell us that sometimes for them, it is the first time that someone has told them, we believe in you and we believe in your dream. Foster youth, having made it into college or vocational training or schooling, oftentimes end up graduating with more student debt than other students. And that's why it's important to invest in their future. We know that a scholarship helps to cover educational expenses, but for some of our scholarship recipients, they shared with us that this was the only way that they were able to pay for food, for housing, or for school supplies. And that's why it's important to invest in our foster youth and in scholarships to help them dream and to help them reach those dreams and provide them with those resources that they desperately need.
Cody, who attended Orangewood High School in San Bernardino last year, says, as much as I have a lot of emotional and social support for when I start college, I don't have the same amount of financial support. I don't think I ever had a secure financial supporter for my college. My biological dad was a man who lived off welfare. He wanted me to go to college, but he was unwilling to help me get there. I've got foster parents, but I wouldn't want to ask them to help a relative stranger like me. Scholarships like the Shine a Light Scholarship are my only hope for graduating from college without debt. Because of this scholarship, I'm able to focus on my studies and not worry about how much money I'm spending on my education.
Roslyn, an aeronautical engineering student at Cal Poly Pomona, says, the Shine a Light Scholarship has helped me a lot. With online classes, there were a lot of website access codes I needed to buy for assignments and learning material. I used the scholarship money for those access codes and for my books.
I believe that this scholarship has impacted my life, says Nancy from Fontana. Not only from a financial standpoint, but I also believe this scholarship has offered me an opportunity to succeed. I strive to be someone my family and peers can be proud of. I wish to be an example to those who walk behind me, and I know that being awarded this scholarship has given me an opportunity to make something great of my life.
You got to hear from some of our board members and some of our Children's Fund team members about our foster youth that received scholarships this past year. As I mentioned, it was important for us to honor their commitment and their dedication to their life, to their dreams, their hope, and their aspirations. We will be awarding new scholarships, and so we're happy to be able to share their stories, to share their names, and share their dreams with you as well. We invite you to go with us on this journey, to support our foster youth, to tell them that someone cares, to tell them that someone believes in them, and then show them by providing them with those resources and tools that they need to be successful. And so we're happy to share with you the names of our 2021 scholarship recipients. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your support and your dedication and believing in our foster youth in our county. Because of you, they will reach their dreams and they will truly have a brighter future. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our recipients. Congratulations to all of our honorees. Before we end our program, I'd like to welcome our preschoolers from the San Bernardino County Head Start to sing a special song.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Wow, that was so great. Thank you so much for that inspiring performance. Thank you all for attending our first virtual Shine a Light on Child Abuse Prevention Awards ceremony. I hope to see you all next year, and hopefully it will be in person. Take care.